Everything was better in the old days. Everything was better in the old days.
My name is Martin Schopf. I'm a freestyle football artist from Vienna, Austria. I've been practicing for over 10 years, and my main inspiration have always been basically other freestyle sports, contemporary circus, and especially dance. For me, really my main goal with freestyle is to just develop my own style, to create, and in the end it's just about exchange and inspiration, not only in the freestyle scene, but also within other sports and other art forms. So freestyle football basically was created with, you could go back to football players like Maradona or Pelé, but also acrobats who were performing a lot of tricks and moves with the ball. Out of that fusion, freestyle was created basically. And for me it's really like every kind of movement with a ball. So I have been involved in competitions, training for the competitive aspect, but overall my main inspiration has always been to create. When I have a training session, I generally put on music. I try to really just flow, and obviously it's also about getting in repetition, just training moves and perfectionizing them. But in the end, the main goal is really like to just create freely and develop your own style. Since many years, I've been training together with dancers from the Viennese community mainly, and I've been generally just fascinated by, in the beginning, mainly dynamic movements, like mainly influenced by breaking. But I feel the older I get, the more I also exchange with other dancers, the more I also appreciate like the fine details and just being very on point and having musicality. And so I really want to translate that more and more also into my own performances and my own freestyle in general. Basically every training session, music is just an essential part. I really try to, not only in my performances, to just be more and more precise, be on the music, but also when I'm just generally freestyling, and that's really where I want to go. Really just freestyling on the music, improvising more. And that's super hard, but especially dancers have been a big inspiration for me in that regard. I'm from Vienna, and in Vienna we have a lot of classical art, very big heritage in that regard. And now over the last years I see more and more also like urban art forms, like we just bring a lot of inspiration from other countries such as France, such as Paris. And we really try to create and bring in something fresh. And I feel in that regard, so this classic heritage, my freestyle is very focused on style, on like clean execution, and making even simple moves like look quite cool. But yeah, I would definitely say that since generally I try to train both with dancers, I have a spot where I'm kind of training surrounded by skaters, or BMX freestylers, or just other freestylers. So I really try to mix it up and just bring in like fresh inspiration all the time, and surround myself with people that I just feel inspired by, basically. Actually, I've been playing really normal football, and also did a bit of gymnastics, and I had an injury as a teenager. A school colleague actually introduced me to freestyle just by sharing YouTube videos, and was actually way better than I was at that time. But when I was injured, I was really just practicing, going to the park, and after a while kind of got in touch with the local community, the local scene, and they were the ones that actually inspired me. And after a few months I realized, damn, I have no coach that tells me what to do, how to do it. Like, I'm super free, and I just saw the progress. And I think that the biggest part was really just having the freedom to just create and develop the way I want. I've been doing competitions, I've been participating in world championships, but also have been performing both mainly commercially but also like artistically since many years. And right now I've started a new workshop project in my city where we want to introduce teenagers, young children to freestyle sports, but also teach them about other aspects such as sustainability or nutrition. So kind of like inspire them through freestyle, but actually also teaching them other life competencies. And besides that, I really want to push creating artistic performances more. I was really inspired by contemporary circus and just really storytelling in a showcase. So I really want to focus on that and just develop there way more. Even if it's something really small, like even if it's a circle of teenagers or children, I still have this spark of stress. But I see it really as a good sign, because it would be a bad sign of basically not caring about how I perform if I don't feel anything. But obviously I've found ways to kind of manage it better. But every showcase is quite exciting and gives you kind of like this weird feeling in your stomach, right? When I really feel low, I'm trying to not force myself too much, but I'm really trying to especially gain inspiration from outside. So especially when it comes down to movement, like every art form with movement generally inspires me, but even other art forms, even music can inspire me, even like going out on a hiking trip or just being in a forest or being a bit more in nature can be super refreshing and give a lot of energy to restart. I'm really the most happy when I have this, people call it flow state, right? Where I'm not thinking too much, where I just feel like, where I'm just really into it without any thoughts, where I kind of feel connected to the music, or connected to the audience around me. That also sometimes happens, and like audience can give you so much energy, and it's a nice exchange. So those are the moments I'm kind of seeking for, but I feel there's no formula. I feel you can't force it. It's just like sometimes you don't feel it. You still have to kind of push and continue. But then those are the rewarding moments, I feel. There are lots of really good memories. I think, for example, I had a really big inspiration when I started. It was really like my idol from South Korea, and back then, like probably among the top 3 freestylers in the world. And I once was invited to be a judge in China, and I was actually like judging with him, which was just a super cool feeling, because it was the first time I actually met him. We were judging together, exchanging, and this is just one example, but there were many moments within the scene where you were really inspired by somebody, then you actually meet, exchange, and become friends. So those were kind of the best moments. I think it evolved really fast, and I think that it's just so cool, like just as with dance, right, where you just actually need your body. With freestyle, all you need is a ball. So it's super accessible, and that I actually really appreciate. So everybody in the world basically can do it. And obviously, like there was through the hype on social media that pushed it a lot. But I feel it's super important to push it also in the right direction. So to have a good balance in between something that's trending on social media, but also something very artistic, and also like just to develop competitions and bring more professionalism into it. So for me, I actually really try to not be too focused on social media trends, and really just try to focus on what I enjoy most about the sport and art. But I would definitely say, for me and also for others, it's quite difficult to juggle everything, and you kind of have, most of the people, they focus on one of these aspects, and because all of them just require so much work. But in the end, it's really about finding, I think, a good balance in between bringing more professionalism into the competitions, We saw like skating was now Olympic, breaking will be Olympic in 24, and I feel freestyle could also go in that direction one day. But it's super important to also maintain the artistic side, develop there, learn especially from more established disciplines. Also use social media as a tool to promote the scene and the sport and the art. I think it's always cool to connect with people outside of your discipline, to exchange. Therefore, I also find this project so cool and inspiring for me. No matter in which discipline you are, which work you are, I think really always keep that in mind. Always like look for inspiration, exchange outside. And I think moovance really symbolizes that.
It was better in the old days. Homies at the park with the propane, yeah.